I saw that you were dialing today, so how did it go?
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, not really much. Couldn't find anyone wanting to sell. But a couple of people living inside, so their immediate no. We live in the property. Thank you. I'm like,
Gotcha.
okay. Some of them I couldn't find. Yesterday I was telling Frank that there was a lot of good properties they looked abandoned, but I couldn't contact anyone numbers wise. Like I tried calling brothers, sisters, moms, dads, owners. So
Yeah.
there was a couple of them that I couldn't, but
yeah. That's
that's
kind of the thing, is that sometimes you can't really find the phone number. So kind of like what we have to do, really, we have to kind of like maybe send them a mail later on. And see, the problem too is that when it's abandoned, that means it's vacant. So that's kind of what makes it really kind of like great, because what happens is that when the property is vacant, and obviously we're passing by, other people are passing by those properties, and so what happened is that like they can't find them, and so you can't find them. The other people too can't find them as well. So most likely maybe they're deceased or something like that, which makes it obviously the harder you try to find it, the better, because now right, because now it's like other people can't find it either.
Not everyone's gonna go the extra mile.
Right, not everyone's gonna go to the extra mile. That's why we try to see if we can call the cousin, call the neighbor, see what we can get on on that. So that's kind of the thing.
No, I just wanted to know, like, what would you prefer a starting point when I call someone? Like, do I hey, like for example, the name on the address is John. Do I have to do? You want me to say, hey John, good morning, da da da, or do you want me to say, hey, my name is this. I'm an investor. Like, how do you?
Yeah. So we'll go over really the script really quick. So the way basically we try to do it is that we assume that we're talking to the correct person. So I'll be like, hey John, we don't say how are you. That that's ignored. So be like, hey John, and then basically usually they'll be like, who's this? Right? Well, hey, this is Wally. I was calling about your property. We only say the street name. We don't say, 1212 Banana Street or whatever, right? We just say that the street address. And so let's say they say, okay, what about it? Then we'd be like, well, hey, just want to ask if you would be open for an offer on this property. And usually they'll be like, well, how much you give me, obviously sometimes they'll be like, wrong number, not interested. Before they would say, how did you find my number? Now is that they're getting calls pretty much, 5 times a day. So they kind of like know their number already online, it's out there. So that's kind of how we started. Again, really kind of like, with energy, enthusiastic, be like, hey John, be like, who's this? Well, this is Wally. I was calling about your property, the one in Main Street. If you would be open for an offer on it, right? And especially the one that you're calling, that list is driving for dollar list. So you can literally tell them, hey, look, we drove by the property and we're interested. Just wanted to see if you would be open for an offer. Because this one is actually, we drove by that property. Basically, let's say if they say, well, how much you give me, what's your offer? Now you obviously have to go through, qualify them, right? To see
and all that stuff.
Exactly. So first thing we like to, we like to do the condition. Usually the big items like the roof, the AC, any issue with the foundation, water heater. So those kind of like the big items. And then kind of like we go in now inside to see, the flooring, countertop, cabinets, and all that. Now, that's obviously information. One, if it's like all remodel, all beautiful property that kind of like already it's, you know, disqualified. However, if it needs work, if it's in original condition, stuff like that, well, now you see that this is probably a good fit for us because, you know, we'll buy it as is. And we need those properties that needs work. In the meantime, what you want to do, you want to look it up on, you know, on Zillow, Google, so you can see like the street view on it. So you're also getting kind of like familiar of the neighborhood of what's going on, you know, there. Then kind of like go over really the timeline. You know, when they're looking to sell. Is it in a month, you know, 2 months, 6 months, you know, a year, right? So see what's their timeline to sell, or if they have other, you know, property to move into. Are they going to, you know, move to a rental property? Are they buying another property? Because each one is different. If, let's say, for example, be like, oh, no, I'm just gonna rent. Well, if they can rent, it could take like a month, right? However, if they'll be like, oh, no, we'll just go and buy another property. Well, that's at least gonna take them 4 to 6 months, you know, until they find, get qualified, and all that. Once you get that, now remember, you wanna have that like not chop question. You want to have that more as a conversation. Now, the third thing, really, we wanted to go over the, you know, motivation. Why they're trying to sell it. Is it like vacant? Is it foreclosure? Is there like, you know, they're in a probate, they're deceased, and they're trying to, you know, sell it? Or maybe there is no motivation, really. Address a couple of questions that you can, you know, ask them about, and you know, because you can't really tell them, hey, what's your motivation, right? Most likely that'll be really aggressive, and they're not going to tell you that. And so you want to really, you know, ask it in a different, you know, in a different approach. The main thing would be the price, right? And that's kind of really, the price is a little tough to get. So when people are new, like when we have the acquisition, when they start, we have them stop at the motivation. They don't make offer until they get familiar with, you know, talking to sellers, you know, getting that more, you know, the condition, getting, you know, familiar with those questions, you know, the conditions, the timeline, the motivation. Like, hey, you know, I'll talk to, you know, one of our acquisition manager, and we'll get you that, you know, cash offer 24, 48 hours to you. And then obviously, you know, later when you get to, you know, the full, you know, talking to sellers, getting familiar with all that, then later on, you set the appointments and all that. But that's, you know, we're a little bit ahead of that. Again, we'll have that, you know, we'll have that training as well to you, so you can like watch the training. We'll do also like a role play with us too. Like let's say we will be the seller, you know, you'll be the acquisition, and then we'll go over it, and then, you know, we'll you know, you'll get more familiar with it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Wally.
Absolutely. I want to really record that because, you know, we usually have those acquisition. That I'll be honest, the hard part of it is really to kind of like to keep those. You know, it really takes a lot of calls and at the beginning, and then majority of them, you know, they won't stay long. And that's why we have our also other team, you know, full time really doing that. And then we have, you know, people who really want to be, you know, beginner wholesalers. They want to come in. They don't have the list, right? They don't have the list to call. They don't know the training. They really don't know how to do the documents. They don't know how to, you know, make an offer on the property. And let's say if they want proof of fund, they don't have that. And so we want to, you know, we have that program. Obviously, we can't really work with a lot of people. However, you know, we see like if they're serious about it, because the problems that we get, you know, a lot of people would come in and be like, oh, I'm interested, I'll do it, I'll make so many calls every day. And then the first day they'll make a call, for 1 hour, then 2 hours, and then later on, they're gone, And so we first wanted to see if they're really putting in the work. All we ask really, like, 3-4 hours a day, right? To kind of like start part-time. We do provide them with the list, and those are like hot lists, not just crappy lists. Those are like, striving for a dollar lists, right? Or PPC leads. So those are, high. We like to do those kind of like really sniper method and to direct, especially for hot leads. Again, they're beginners. However, is that, it's gonna take like a week or two if they put that effort. Watch the training, implement what we tell them about, and hey, if let's say be like, what, I don't want to work with that anymore, or I want to do it on my own. There's no contract or anything. So best of luck to them if they wish to do that. There's no course to sell. There's no mastermind or nothing, right? So that's kind of the thing. It's the barrier to entry. It's really low. Literally free that they can join. The challenge that we have is that if they're serious or not, because if they're not serious, if we're seeing they're not making those calls or doing that, then obviously we don't want to waste our time as well. I rather maybe instead of training that, I'll be talking to other more serious people, or talking to sellers, agent, investors. So hope that helped. Again, if you're a wholesaler looking to start part-time here in RGV Valley, do some acquisition, feel free to reach us, send bill, cash offer, and then we'll talk directly. Thank you so much. Take care.